What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about and what's going on here in our country on a daily basis. We got some major news. The White House says, let's make a deal, which could provide thousands of dollars, $3,000 plus to millions of Americans. We'll go over the details of that here, and it would happen this month if they do it. If they can make a deal. We'll go over that here in this video and multiple different things. Also, I'll have a trivia question for you. If you can answer it correctly, you could win money directly from me. We're doing it all this month here, and we did it last month, and we gave away money the month before. So just kind of our way of giving back here for the holidays, and even more so going forward. It's just kind of our way of sharing the love with our viewers. So if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the bell icon after you subscribe, and thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. We got a lot going on here, so let's jump right in. Okay, first up, the Supreme Court agrees now to hear a second lawsuit over Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, which really now leaves a potential second way to strike down the $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan forgiveness for low and middle class Americans. So remember that any high income earners are excluded from this program because there's income caps on it. So this is about 40 million Americans that would be receiving this type of stimulus type program that was passed via executive order from the president. And there's been multiple Republican groups that said we want to challenge it. We don't want people to get help from this program. And there's been multiple lawsuits. So all the lawsuits up until this point have actually passed. This Supreme Court actually struck down two of them and said nope, it was legal. But this one case has actually paused the $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan forgiveness and said no, we don't think it's legal, and it has now gone to the Supreme Court. So they're going to be ruling on that here, or they're looking at the case, and now they've agreed to look at a second case as well, which involves a legal battle arising out of Texas. And again, this involves millions and millions of people. But when they come up with these legal battles, they find one or two people that have a specific case in which they're trying to disqualify 40 million people because of a very, very specific one or two people. You can see here borrowers Myra Brown and Alexander Taylor, their lawsuit here to challenge it and whether they're statutory authorized and whether they adopted this procedurally proper manner. So their lawsuit challenges that these two allege in their lawsuit against the Department of Education and Education Secretary Miguel Cardona that he improperly promulgated the plan without notice and comment rulemaking, depriving them of the opportunity to comment on the program. Comment on the program. Now, in all fairness, I mean, when any other presidential executive order is passed, I mean, they don't go and say, all right, people out there, give us your comments before the president is going to make his decision. He's elected as the president and does what the president needs to do. When former President Donald Trump passed his executive order to send out checks to millions of people for the unemployment bonus checks, again, same thing. He didn't send out a comment section, similar to YouTube. It's some of the things they're they're just trying to find any way to deprive 40 million people of basically some stimulus type help. I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts here. Remember, this is really just the latest type of program. Remember, we've had 3 stimulus checks. We have 35 states this year that have done state stimulus checks. We've had rent assistance of $40 billion, mortgage assistance of $9.9 billion, utility assistance. There was just $13 billion of utility assistance just approved in November and December. If you've been watching my channel, I'm keeping you up to date here on all of this. Unemployment bonus assistance, SNAP bonus assistance. Really, we still have about half the states that are still doing extra SNAP benefits of $95 per month. That's still a stimulus bonus still going on here. All sorts of different programs. So that really the student loan forgiveness, again, just kind of the latest program going on here. And yeah, we just had a pension fund. They've got like $32 billion. Also, I'll show you an interesting one here. BLM, so this is kind of a private fund, Black Lives Matter, set up the student relief fund on their own as the student loan forgiveness stalls. So this is in the news here today. I figured I'd show this to you. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation launched a new relief fund Monday aimed at Black college students, alumni, and dropouts overburdened by mounting education costs and student loan debt crisis. The foundation set aside 500,000 for the fund and plans to award more than 500 recipients with relief payments ranging from $750 to $4,500. A public application process opened on Monday, and recipients will receive their money in January if selected. So you can apply for that if you want to. Don't give them any money. Just be aware of that. I don't know if they're asking for money, but just be aware of that. I do want to mention that BLM was criticized, again, not picking sides or anything like that, but they were criticized because they took in millions and millions of donations. Remember that they're actually just like a private organization, and so they actually have kind of like an owner there. Um, they took in tens of millions of dollars of donations, and it was kind of found out that they had given nothing to the actual BLM movement. So this is one of the only times that I have seen that they're actually giving money back. 500,000, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually a very tiny, tiny, tiny amount of actually what they took in donation. So good for them for actually using something, but we actually should see a lot more from them. So hopefully we do, because again, if you're taking in donations for a cause from a charity, you should actually do that, right? The White House says, let's make a deal, as they're getting a little bit, I don't know if I want to say the word desperate, but they're getting a little bit deal hungry. A last minute push would, see if I can zoom this in here. Last minute push would concede on a work requirement. It says requisite, but basically a work requirement tied to expanding the child tax credit, which would basically up the child tax credit to $3,000 or $3,600 for about 60 million children. 60 million children, which has not gone through this entire year. So they're trying to make a deal between Republicans and Democrats to get this to go through, I believe, before the end of the year. You can see here the White House has privately signaled to Democrats that it would support a compromise deal to revive the expanded child tax credit, even if it includes work requirements it once opposed. Probably because they're going to have to do that to get it passed. So it's one of those things. It's like, don't get it passed, or get it passed with work requirements. Because remember, Joe Manchin, previously didn't pass it. Now they're going to lose, the House of Representatives, the majority there. So it's like, pass it now with the work requirements, or who knows what might happen in the future. So it's better to, take the bird in the hand and get the deal if you can, right? A remarkable shift for the administration that has resisted applying such conditions to anti poverty programs. It comes amid a recent push in Congress to include an expansion in a year end legislative package, trying to do this before the year end, while Democrats still control both chambers, but they will need Republican votes in the Senate to pass this. They will need basically 10 Republican votes to get this passed and to help out 40, it's like 40 some million families, 60 some million children. Biden oversaw a sweeping enhancement of the child tax credit during his first months in office, delivering up to $3,600 to parents, including to households previously ineligible because they had no income. So, yeah, they made this eligible to people that had no income at all. You basically could just get the monthly payments, and then to get the other half, you had to file a tax return. So even if you weren't required to file a tax return for 2021, which you would file this year, you still want to go ahead. If you have children, you can file a tax return with zero income. But if you have children, you probably still want to do that because you're owed by the IRS $1,500 to $1,800 per child. Okay. But again, this is not tax advice because I'm talking to thousands of people here. Um, do your own due diligence, or walk into a tax center or H&R Block and ask them or something like that. Hopefully, you can just get some free advice or something like that. Because the IRS, remember, they only sent out those monthly payments, the 300 to $350 per month per child for half the year. They still owe you the other half the year. The IRS does. You get that via a tax return. If you have children, there is going to be a child tax credit for 2022 this year, no matter what, whether they pass this or not. Okay. Hopefully this is, I'm trying to make this is very serious. Okay. Because a lot of people think that if they don't pass this, there's going to be no child tax credit. There is. It's going to be $2,000. Now, whether or not there's going to be work requirements or not, we'll have to see what the details are. If this passes or not, I'll keep you up to date here on this. But if they do pass this, it could go up to $3,000 per child for children ages 6 through 17, or $3,600 for children under the age of 6. So it's a significantly more money. It's 50% more money for children over the age of 6, and it's like 75 or 80%. I don't know. You can do the math, or whatever. For children under the age of 6, so it's $1,600 more per child, or $1,000 more per child for children over the age of 6 per child. It's basically like a whole additional federal stimulus check. So it's really, really big. And honestly, it's if they could pass this for more than 1 year as well. So there's a lot on the table here. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. And remember that this took millions of children out of poverty. They did studies, and there was something like, I don't know, it was over 5 million children that were taken out of poverty because the monthly payments, even $300 a month per child, that's enough to put food on the table. And for a lot of low income families, that's enough to pay rent. Well, not really pay rent, but to put food on the table. I mean, when we talk about the children that are living in poverty, that's a big deal. I mean, that's enough to literally go and buy food. So, I mean, you let me know your thoughts, but I mean, they've literally done studies and, went to neighborhoods and stuff, and it's like literally the difference between kids getting enough meals and not getting enough meals. So, yeah. And then I'll also kind of string this along with another related story here, just to give you an idea of what's going on here in our country. Los Angeles. Well, Los Angeles is like Los Angeles, New York is, the number one and number two largest cities in our country, population and, size wise and stuff like that. Los Angeles just declared an emergency declaration because of homelessness. because of homelessness. So an emergency declaration gives Karen Bass, the mayor there, new powers. How will she use them? You can see right here from the Los Angeles Times. Bass has declared a homelessness an emergency. Now let's see bold action. So, I mean, we're literally seeing, and this is why, like, things like the child tax credits, things like extra food stamps or the SNAP assistance, things like stimulus checks, things like rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, um, all of these different type of I mean, there's been other programs as well, but these are just kind of the ones that come off the top of my head. You know, again, I try to cover everything, everything. The state stimulus programs, 35 states have fed state stimulus checks, tax rebate checks, property tax rebate checks, utility assistance, the heat program, the light heat program, all these different programs that basically provide assistance, provide money to people in multiple different ways. Okay. Um, Look at this. We have a major homelessness crisis in literally like the largest city in the United States, or I don't know, New York, Los Angeles, number one, number two here. Yeah. Mayor Karen Bass' first day in office didn't start at City Hall, but down the street at the emergency operations centers were flanked by elected officials. She declared the homeless crisis a state of emergency. That move, which will require city council approval, gives her the ability to more quickly create the new interim housing and make a plan to get the most vulnerable Los Angelinos, I think I'm saying that right, off the street as winter weather sets in. Now, Los Angeles, not as bad as like the northern states, but imagine homelessness in the northern states, like New York City, going to be a lot worse there. New York weather, right? Says, quote, we must bring people indoors faster, and we will. We must build housing faster, and we will. We must coordinate shelters and services, and we will. We must have coordination among the city officials and the city departments, and we will, because we are doing things differently. So, honestly, good to see this type of stuff. I mean, obviously, solving homelessness for I don't even know how many people, but and this going on all across the country and who knows how many places. A difficult thing to solve and costs a lot of money, a lot of money that has to come from somewhere. Yeah, and really, it just probably just comes from the national debt, the national deficit. And you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this, but yeah, I mean, this is just it's a tough thing to to solve. It's a tough thing to pay for, and it's part of our ongoing like funding the government, funding the cities, the states. It's just it's an ongoing money problem. It's an ongoing money problem that is just a never-ending revolving door. There's never enough money. Remember, the government runs a deficit every year. They actually were able to cut the deficit like somewhere around in half over the last year, but that's only because back to work is a big thing right now. Unemployment is at like a 40 or 50-year low. But even so, the federal government's still running a deficit. Now, all the states are running surplus, but that just gives you an idea of how much the federal government spends. It's enormous. Yeah. So next up, let's do our giveaway here. So we're again, I wish I had the money of the federal government, but we're trying to give away, a little bit here and there to our viewers. We've given away thousands of dollars here, just kind of our way of showing back, giving back what we can. And our fun little game is right now we're basically doing trivia questions. Trivia questions. So if you can guess the answer to the trivia question, you will be entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. And if you guess correctly and you're in the pool, we have a random comment picker that will randomly pick a few people to be the winners. Okay. So all you need to do to Enter is leave a comment down below with whatever you think the answer is to the trivia question. So, today's trivia question is, what is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel in the movie It's a Wonderful Life? What is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel in It's a Wonderful Life? Comment down below if you think you know the answer, and if you guessed correctly and you're picked as a winner, I will heart your comment and also comment back to you that you're the winner. You'll know it's me because I will heart your comments, and it'll say it's Jimmy and only it's Jimmy. And make sure you get a heart, and you'll comment. Yeah, I do them kind of in batches, and they're always a few days after the videos, and then I'll PayPal you the money or Venmo or anything, something. I send out gift cards to people who don't have either. And yeah, so yeah, by the way, me and my wife, we always watch It's a Wonderful Life. We tend to do, around this time of year, we tend to do it on New Year's Eve. Um, New Year's Eve night. Depends on, we used to go out on New Year's Eve night. It just depends, but either on Christmas night or New Year's Eve night. It's just kind of our way of reflecting back on the year, being grateful for whatever you have. We've had a lot of health problems lately. Me and my wife. I've had this dizziness issue, or it's kind of just the best way to say it, lightheadedness issue, really for over 2 years now. And I think it's due to vestibular migraines, is kind of the easiest way to say it. I've worked with several specialists now over the last year or so, and it's almost really like a lightheadedness that makes my vision a little off. And it's been really hard. And my wife maybe has it even harder than me. She has a kidney disease that has her in pain every single day, called MSK, medullary sponge kidney, and it's been trying for us, at least health wise. But nonetheless, we watch that movie, and it makes you kind of wonder. It's a Wonderful Life, and everybody only has one life to live, and you have to be thankful for what you have, no matter what you have, and you always have to look at the glass half full. And this is a good time of year to look around, no matter what your situation is, and be happy for what you have, and just realize that it's a wonderful life. And you know, look around and, say happy holidays to your neighbors, family, friends, whoever you have. Maybe it's our YouTube family here. Maybe it's, make some friends here on YouTube, or your next door neighbor, or your family members, or a long lost acquaintance, whoever it may be. So, whatever it may be, happy holidays to you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, all of the above. Happy Hanukkah, and I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So if you haven't, make sure to subscribe down below. Just click the subscribe button. I'll keep you up to date here. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I didn't mention, the winners get $50 each per winner, and we're going to have several more trivia questions here up until Christmas, and probably even more until then. So you can click here to watch my newest video next, or you can click here to see my newest video on some major announcements coming this week. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.